Start with why is an incredibly useful concept. I make my videos to support and develop people so that they can have the confidence to learn anything and they can tackle any of life's challenges. That's as far as I've got with my why. Simon Sinek recommends that anything that you do, you start by understanding why you're doing it. And then as you're actually putting that into practice, you can always revisit that reason why you did it. Throughout the book, Simon Sinek gives examples of massively popular and successful companies, for example, Apple, that he says understand fundamentally why they do what they do. Apple don't just make computers, they enable people to change the world. That's their underlying why, and every product that they do speaks to that. Starting with why doesn't just apply to massive companies making products, it actually can apply to selling pitches or job applications, or just for your personal reasons why you do whatever it is that you do. So you can apply it to any personal mission. Now, I don't have a physical copy of this book, and that's because I actually listened to this on Audible. More on that later, but for now there's a link in the description if you wanted to try Audible for free. Simon Sinek launched his ideas and started his really popular community around why with his really popular TED Talk, and I'll put a link to that video in the description as well. And he talks a lot in this book, a lot about the concept of the golden circle. And really that's a very simple idea made to sound very grand. And at the center of everything's golden circle is why. And that's what you really need to look for, that bullseye of understanding why it is you're doing something. And then around that is how. How are you going to go about doing the things? And those hows should constantly be talking back to the why. And then around that, you have what. What is it that you actually do? He talks about loads of companies get this wrong because they work from the outside of the circle into the center. So they start by saying what it is that they make, and then they eventually get to why. Whereas companies that are really good at starting with why always begin their pitches, always begin their advertising from the center outwards. They start with why. So for me here on my YouTube channel, I've been doing a lot of thinking about this over the last year really. Why is it that I do this, what I do? And I'm going through a period now where I'm really looking to define exactly why it is that I make these videos. And so I'm doing a lot of thinking and a lot of introspection about what this is all about. So at the start of this video, I began with my why statement, which I'm just kind of drafting and working through. What did you think of that? Because after reading Start With Why, I was left thinking, okay, that's great. I understand that concept. I can see these big companies, really successful people have really clear why statements, and that pervades everything that they do. But for me, practically finding my own why isn't something that's really obvious. So actually there's a follow-up book which I'll also include in this review here, which is called Find Your Why. It's much shorter and it's a practical guide to enabling you to think through why it is that you do what you do. I think that's really good as well. They give you some practical tips of how to do that if you're looking to find your why as an individual, or if you're looking to find a team why, a kind of shared goal for maybe your company. And they recommend that you structure a kind of why statement as you're building it, as you're drafting it, in the form to something something, so that something something something. And so my why statement that I've been drafting goes something like this: to support and develop people so that they can learn anything and that they can have the confidence to overcome life challenges. And so what do you think of that? Hopefully my videos embody that. So I recommend that you pick this book up on Audible and you maybe start the free trial. So if you decide to give Audible a free trial, there's an affiliate link in the description, and that just means I get a small payment for anyone who starts a free trial via that. There's also a link in the description for the paperback and for the audio. But the thing is, for me, I don't get much time to sit and read much at the moment, but I do have an hour commute every day. And so that's perfect time for me in the car just to listen to audiobooks. So if you're someone who has any of that time where you're maybe sitting on a bus or a train or in a car, I think it's perfect time to consume some books, because reading, even if it's listening to an audiobook, really allows you time to think about your own context and what you're learning about in your own context. Passively watching videos, although it's really entertaining, isn't quite as good for that introspection and thinking about your own reasons why you do things. So I can definitely recommend this book.